Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar. My name is Andrew Townsend, I'm with eLearning Brothers. Today in our session we're going to be talking about going beyond basic to create award-winning instructional videos. This session will be recorded, we'll get a copy of it posted on our blog, and we'll also send it out to all those who have registered for this session. If you're finding us afterwards as a recording, welcome. If you have questions during the webinar, we'll be ready to answer your questions in the questions panel, and we'll try to get to as many of those questions as we can throughout the session. If we're unable to get to all of your questions, we'll try to answer those offline. All right, so to talk to us about Vyond and video, we have Brigham Sunday, owner of Storybox Studios, with us today. Thanks, Brigham, for your time.
Thank you.
And without further ado, I'll go ahead and turn the time over to you.
Great, thanks, Andrew. Hello, I'm Brigham, and I'm very excited to be here today. This is actually my first webinar I have ever done. Very excited, and a great new experience. So super excited to be here. I just wanted to get a little feedback as far as your knowledge of Vyond. So I've asked Andrew to kind of send over a little poll question. What was that poll question again, Andrew?
This one is, have you used Vyond before?
Have you used Vyond before? So if you could respond to that and kind of let me know if you have seen or used Vyond before, just so I can gauge a little bit of your knowledge with Vyond.
So that's up there on the screen right now. All right, we'll give you guys a couple more seconds to go ahead and vote up on the screen. Just click directly on the screen. Looks like a good chunk of you have voted, so we'll go ahead and show those results. 33% of our audience says yes, they've used it before, but 67% of the audience says no.
Yay, perfect. Awesome. So I'm good. So Vyond, one of my favorite tools to use as a videographer and an editor. Vyond is a tool that I have used since 2007 at its inception. I was teaching middle school and high school back in those days. I was teaching technology courses to students, and I came across a website called Go Animate. And Go Animate was a simple little platform that allowed students, it was more geared towards students at that point, to animate whatever they wanted. And it was open to them. They could upload their videos directly to YouTube. You can actually go on YouTube and still find some of those Go Animate videos that students had been showing back in the day. And I loved it. It was fantastic. And I used it for students at that point to deliver presentations, an alternate form to use rather than a PowerPoint presentation or Prezi or things like that. It was a great thing for students to use to create their own animations and presentations and animate those and add their own lip sync and voiceover. And so over the years though, Go Animate has transitioned to what is now Vyond in the last couple of years, and Vyond is now more corporate based, more business related, and it's a monthly fee you pay, and you have access to their huge library and are able to create videos, animations, explainer videos, whiteboard videos, lip sync videos, in a very easy way. And so it's a fantastic tool, and they are going a really cool direction. They're updating every month, and Vyond is one of my favorite tools to use as a video editor. And so I'm going to show you a little bit about Vyond, and if you have questions, feel free to write them in. Andrew will let me know, and we can kind of talk about it from there. So the course and kind of how we're going to go through this, I'm going to showcase a little bit of what Vyond is, what it does, and then I'm going to actually highlight some videos that I've done and created using Vyond and kind of go through those. I mean, Vyond has a wide variety of flexibility of what you can do with it, and so I wanted to showcase that with you. And then at the end we'll open it up. If you have any specific questions, we can jump into that as well. So they can see my screen. I'm going to go ahead and start this here. I put together just a very quick little Vyond video for you. You're not going to hear any sound, unfortunately, on the video side. So I will talk over that so you can we can get an idea of what we have going here. So this is a video I put together using Vyond, and it is a simple way where you can create an explainer video, super fast, super easy, super cheap. than the more traditional ways to create videos. And that's what's so amazing about Vyond. And what's amazing is they took this, you know, from the students, they got feedback from students, and then they brought this out into the corporate world, which is fantastic. And so lots of graphics, lots of text, lots of animation, not only with character animation, as you can see here, but with animation of you know, icons and text and things like that. So it's a fantastic tool. Lots you can do with it. You can control camera movement, sound effects, and if you compare that to the traditional method of animation, you know, I do a lot of animation as well in After Effects and Adobe After Effects and Premiere and things of that nature, which are very time consuming, very costly, and still a good idea to do. But Vyond brings a whole new level of what you're able to do, how easy you're able to do that. So really fun and unique tool. And I'm gonna show you some specific samples of that as I get that pulled up here. So I'm going to take you into Vyond, and we're gonna look at some specific samples here. And again, Vyond is online based. You don't have to download anything. I'm not a sponsor for Vyond, nor do I represent Vyond in any way. I'm just a huge fan that has been using it for quite a long time. And it's subscription based at this point. So within Vyond, you can see here I have lots of different projects and things like that. I'm going to open this project here that I was working on for the presentation, just to kind of show you a little bit about what we can do. And then we're going to look at some specific samples of videos that have been made in Vyond. So this is the basic interface for Vyond. As you can see, if you're familiar with Adobe Premiere or After Effects, it's somewhat similar, but also very different. If you have used those in the past, Vyond is very easy to transition to and easy to do. So specifically, and also if you have not used Adobe Premiere or After Effects, it's very easy to get into and to be trained on. They have numerous training videos and things on YouTube to really master Vyond. It's very user-friendly. So with Vyond, there's 3 types of videos, general types of videos that you can make with Vyond, and I'm going to showcase some of those to you. So basically, there are whiteboard videos, which I'll show to you. Those are the ones where you can draw with a hand and things like that. You can do that all on Vyond, which is fantastic. There are other websites where you can do that as well, but Vyond allows you to not only do traditional explainer type videos or animations, but also the whiteboard videos, which are very popular right now in the e-learning industry. There's the traditional videos, which we'll touch on as well. And then there's the new feature within the last year, which is incorporating actual video into Vyond and then animating over the top of it, which is really neat and something really special you can do in the e-learning industry, is to have, you know, an interview of someone speaking or giving direction, and then put that overlay right on top of it and really do some fun animations with that live video. So really some really cool stuff there. So I'm going to showcase a couple examples and talk to you about them, some examples that I have done. While I get that pulled up, are there any pending questions, Andrew? Anything they're asking here? Any?
Yeah, we've got a couple questions coming up here.
Good.
My shop uses Vyond in everything. We would love to know if there's a better way to get static images from Vyond videos.
Another way to get static images from Vyond videos.
Heather, help me understand. Are you downloading static images from Vyond, or are you just trying to? Are you making your presentations in Vyond? Maybe you're just taking screenshots or something like that. Maybe give me some more clarification on that one so we can give you a better answer. Here's a different question. So this site, the Vyond site, is an online editing. Is it fast, or is that 100% dependent on my internet connection?
It is dependent on your internet connection. Is it fast as far as editing? Yes, it can be very fast. I could whip out a Vyond video, professional Vyond video, in 2 to 4 hours, ready for production, as opposed to doing that in Adobe Premiere or After Effects could take me 5 to 7 days. So it depends what you mean by fast. But yes, I would say that
it's not clunky.
It's not clunky. It's dependent upon your internet speed. And some of these questions we'll take at the end. If you can find a little bit more out for Heather there.
Heather's comment was, her follow-up was, it seems like all they're doing is making a bunch of stills that fade in and out from one another. Can you actually animate stuff on screen so it's moving while the video is playing, rather than just being a bunch of screenshots put together into a video?
Yes, and we'll touch on that. We'll come back to that, Heather. So the answer is yes to both. So there are static props and there are animated props, as well as static characters and actions, as opposed to animated actions. So there's both. So within Vyond, you can actually use a static image, or you can actually find animated images that are already pre-animated to use. So for example, a telephone or a cell phone ringing, there's a static image of a cell phone, and then there's also an animated image of a cell phone that I can drag in, and when I hit preview or play, that cell phone is already animated and moving, if that answers your question. And if not, we'll come back to that and deal with that.
Just one more question here.
You bet.
So when we make videos in Camtasia or Captivate 2019, you are allowed to make an interactive video. Is that possible with Vyond?
Vyond, final output for Vyond will be an MP4, so a video that you cannot interact with, but the video itself is used and quite often used to interject or put into a Storyline or Camtasia along with those. So the way we build it in these e-learning platforms is we'll build out the course using Storyline, and then we'll have these videos interspersed that we've created on Vyond. But short answer to that is no, these are not interactive videos. It's just a form of creating nice animation videos to interject into your e-learning platforms, if that makes
Excellent.
sense.
We'll come back to more questions later.
Yeah, so here's a video I actually just finished up this week. And this was for a company called Lola.com. And this was an interesting video request they had. So they wanted a whiteboard video using Vyond, but the audio they sent me was just an interview. So they wanted me to animate an interview. And so you're not going to hear the interview. So it's between two people actually interviewing someone from the company Zoom. If you're familiar with the presentation software Zoom, someone from Lola is interviewing someone from Zoom, and then they wanted that whole interview animated. So this kind of showcases that ability to animate, and I'm going to highlight a few features here, okay? So as you can see, here's a whiteboard video. You got hands coming in, you got icons coming in, we got their brand colors interjected. As you can see, these characters are actually lip synced. So one cool feature to Vyond is super, super easy. You can lip sync voices and it will actually do that for you. So rather than using Adobe Puppet Tools and After Effects, which is generally how you would do something like that, you can do it within 5 minutes and actually drag in the audio for whoever's talking, click on the character, and it lip syncs that directly to their mouth. And it's very fun to do. So what you're going to see in this video is two characters having an interview, but then jumping back and forth to actual stats and things like that that they are talking about. So this is a whiteboard video. You can choose whether the icons or animations fly in, zoom in, are animated on or off. It's really up to you to do that as far as how you want it designed. And so this was their design, how they wanted this done. So again, whiteboard videos, you have seen these. There's some other tools online where you can do these, but the nice thing about Vyond is you can not only do these whiteboard videos, but do the other ones as well, the explainers and things like that. So really cool way to kind of showcase things. And in the e-learning community, this is a fantastic way to, to showcase, in conjunction with Camtasia and Storyline, to have some actual video being used to really drive home those elements. As you can see, these characters are also animated, so they're doing things as they're talking. So there's static images. So here's a static graph but there's also animated images that you'll see as well. So here's an animated image. See how he's typing? He's an animated character just typing away. The nice thing about Vyond also, you see this, you can get camera movements on there, which is kind of an advanced thing that normally we would do in After Effects or Premiere, but you can do push-ins, you can do zooms, you can do pans, and you can really be creative, almost like a little filmmaker, as you create these videos. And so anyway, that is a whiteboard video, kind of fun way to showcase this interview. And it was also fun, they actually sent me their photos of the actual people being interviewed, and you can go into Character Creator and really hone in on how these characters look. And so I was able to match the characters to the actual people talking, and they got a real big kick out of that. So it's kind of fun to be able to do that. You can use their stock characters, or you can actually go in and match the characters to who's talking, and hopefully they don't get too mad at you for matching them. So that's a little bit on the whiteboard video. Any questions on quick questions on the whiteboard video specifically? Give you a second for that. Lots of information here. I could spend weeks talking about Vyond. I love Vyond. We can go through trainings and stuff like that as well. But this is just a brief overview of what you can do in Vyond, as well as how to incorporate it into these e-learning styles and things like that.
So a couple of questions on the whiteboard feature.
Yeah.
The hand that you're showing, can you change the hand?
Absolutely. Yes, you can change. Let me pull up a brief little sample here. So on this video here, or what you're seeing now is just a blank slate. So I want to animate something. So I'm going to get a prop here. Andrew, what's the first thing that comes to your head? Give me a prop.
A ruler.
A ruler. We have rulers. Now back to Heather's question here. These 4 rulers are all static, okay? I don't know how much animation you can give a ruler anyway, but these are static images. If they were not static, they would have a little plus sign right here, which would mean that they have pre-animation on them. There are 3 different styles within Vyond. There's the business friendly. So here's my business friendly ruler. Here is my contemporary rulers. And then here are my whiteboard rulers. So I'm going to put in a whiteboard ruler, and I would like this to be animated here. I'm going to minimize that so I can see here. So I want to animate this. So I go up to animation, and again, don't worry about, I just want to showcase that you're able to do this. So I want to animate this in. I want to do a whiteboard animation. There are lots of different variations. So there are illustration, meaning like a comic style hand. There's a pen hand. There is real hands of various different types. There's a real hand. There's a real hand. So the answer is yes, lots of different styles, lots of different ways, and you control the speed of that hand. So I'm going to go ahead and choose just a real hand to animate this on. I'm going to give it a little 1-second delay. You control everything. I'm going to make it slow at 3 seconds, and then I'm going to hit preview, and we're going to watch this ruler get animated on with a hand. Very simple, and again, that took 15-30 seconds to do. So very simple. Hopefully that answers your question with that. Any other questions with whiteboard?
It looks like there were several questions along those same lines.
Okay,
that
perfect.
Demonstration, we covered it. Thank you.
Awesome. So that is whiteboard, and again, you have full control over it. Now, one question that comes up, well, what if I don't like a lot of their props and things like that? They have thousands of props. Now, obviously, they don't have thousands of props for rulers, but they have thousands of props. You can bring things over, and I'm going to show that in some of the videos that we're going to be showcasing in a minute. So I use a lot of Adobe After Effects and Illustrator on a lot of the images. So I'll get a lot of clients that have specific custom requests. So I'm able to animate those things outside of Vyond and bring them into Vyond and still have the same effect. And so if that answers your question. So they don't have everything, but they do have a lot to choose from to make these videos. But at the same time, you can always bring things over and animate outside of Vyond and bring into Vyond. Okay, so the other style of video, I'm going to showcase another style here. That was whiteboard. let's look at a video here. So traditional kind of explainer videos. This is using a contemporary style. This was for a company, I actually don't remember the company, but this was unique. Let me just tell you briefly about this. So the client came to me with a very expensive explainer video that looked exactly like this but had custom graphics, and it was very nice. And he spent upward of 10 to 20 grand on the heavy video that he had purchased. And he wanted to see, can I create something similar using Vyond? So I brought up his video, and I should have pulled that up for you, but I brought up his video, and then I had Vyond, and I matched it, and I was able to match it. It took me 1 day to do, and it was very quick and easy to do, and he loved it. And now he's moving everything towards that Vyond to be able to have something a little cheaper and a little bit easier to use. And so here's that explainer video. And I'm sorry, again, you cannot hear the audio, but we have his graphs and custom graphs that we did. I incorporated his brand colors and animated the video exactly like his previous video. Again, you can incorporate their branding, their logos, things like that. But a very nice, explainer type video that we were able to create very quickly for him. So this is what's called the contemporary style that they have. And again, lots of flexibility, lots of freedom that you can do with the icons, graphics, and things of that nature. So I would categorize this as more a typical explainer video, but a lot of people can use these within eLearning for explaining specific topics, and again, incorporating that into Camtasia or Storyline as well. So that is explainer video. Any questions quick questions on that as they're coming up?
None on what you just covered.
Okay, good. I'm going to show one of our videos that we've won a few awards with. This was a video that we did for a company called Ally Auto. And this video, we incorporate some custom things as well. And so I'll kind of showcase this. So this was for internal training that they were doing, showcasing a specific car that we called Little Red. The car goes on a journey. Ally Auto is a financial institution for automotives and things like that, and so this shows a car going through that journey of beginning to end and where it ends up. So we have a custom video series that we did for them. So this uses what's called the business-friendly style, and so all the icons and imagery is from that business-friendly style. And what's amazing, and I wish you could hear this, what's amazing about these videos is you can actually add the sound effects and pops, and that's what you're not going to be hearing in this video. But every time something pops up or a background, cars in the background, there's cars moving, there's the sounds of vehicles, there's and things of that nature. On top of this one, there's a voice narration, but really fun to do. We did have a lot of trouble with some of the graphics. So for example, Little Red, we couldn't get Little Red exactly. So this little car right here is Little Red. We couldn't get it exactly how they wanted it. So we actually took it out into Illustrator and edited it slightly, brought it back into Vyond. And once you bring it back in, it's part of your library forever, which is pretty cool about Vyond. You can have that once that icon is created, it stays in there. So as we repeated videos for this client, we're able to use those assets that have already been built to repeat it, if that makes sense. So again, these are animated characters that are pre-animated, kind of drag and drop, very easy to use to create this video. And this video is done very well for us in the e-learning industry. And again, you're going to see lots of movement, animated birds up above, different vehicles coming in, icons, cars moving. All this is done fairly simple with their templates. They have quite a few templates that are available. For example, this template here, this desert background moving, is a template. You just drag and drop that in, and you can put any vehicle you want on the screen. And so this is a video that we did for them. Any questions on this kind of style? So we go through this one. It's a long one, but this was a very fun to do. These characters are not speaking, their mouths are moving. So we have a voice narrator talking through this whole story, but you can still make the characters appear as if they're talking or having conversations, which is kind of cool, kind of nice to do. So this is one of those e-learning, get information out to people, training videos, fantastic for these kind of training videos, especially internal training. So that is that. I'll show you one more quick one here. This was a fun one that we did for a real estate client. And it's always fun when the client lets you take full creative control. So I was able to throw a zombie in this one. So again, characters coming off and on. One thing I wanted to showcase here, which is kind of fun, you have control of how characters come in and animate on and off. You're going to see one of my main characters here on the bottom left. A hand brings him in and off. Kind of a fun little feature that you can do with that. There you can see the little zombie coming in into Bob's apartment here. Notice the camera movement, what you're able to do, which gives it that cinematic feel with various shots as you go from medium shot to close-up shot and etc. So really fun cinematic movie style abilities that you have within Vyond that's a little more difficult to do on Premiere or After Effects. Doable, but sometimes not as user-friendly to do. So there's a little sample of that as well. Let me pull up one more sample here. Any questions coming in, Andrew? Let's see if I can get
we have a lot of questions, but not necessarily about each
section. Okay.
Section, so we can come back to those.
We can come back to those questions at the end. Perfect. Okay. All right. And I just wanted to show one more that incorporated custom content coming into Vyond for a particular client. So again, this is an ally video that we did. When the script comes in, a lot of times, again, there's some things that I know that we can't specifically do in Vyond that will require some light touch-ups outside of Vyond, and this was one of those ones that we did, which was kind of fun to do. So again, an e-learning internal training video called for a inside of an elevator to open and close, seeing different floors of this particular company. Vyond did not have those, so a lot of times what you do is you create your own things within Vyond. So this elevator, they didn't have an elevator that you can just drag and drop. So sometimes you got to be a little creative and use shapes and things like that. So we built out a rectangle here, another rectangle, and then painted that ourselves, and then actually animated all of this elevator in Vyond. This was not custom outside of it, but you're not going to find the template for it. So what's cool about Vyond is based on your creativity and things like that, you can do some pretty amazing stuff, even though they don't have a simple drag and drop template for that particular thing that you're using. So again, we just animated an elevator that we built on and off as it showcases these different creative floors within this particular department of the company. But also some of those chess pieces, particularly the chess board, had to be done outside of Vyond in Illustrator and then brought in as a static image. So that chess board was brought in outside of Illustrator, but very easy to do. So kind of a fun, oops, clicked on something there. Fun way to showcase that with the elevator and the different characters and such there. So lots of fun. So I'm just going to showcase this real quick and then we'll open it up to questions. So again, I showed you the whiteboard, how to create a whiteboard. How to create the different styles is right up here. So this is kind of your little toolbar up here. You have characters, you have props, you have charts and can do custom charts, which are very nice, that are animated. You have your text and things of that nature. One thing I wanted to show you is, which is really cool, is the ability to edit, and a lot of people don't know this with Vyond, is to edit on top of real video. So this little icon right here, upload, you can upload any of your own assets, music, voiceover, sound effects up here. But you click on this, and I've uploaded one of our music videos that we've shot. It's for an artist here named Callie Reed. And you can import the video and go ahead and let me see if I can play this here. Trying to minimize this, it's not minimizing. Trying to minimize this control panel, Andrew. It's not. If I X out, it'll pump me out, right?
The little orange arrow.
Yeah. Okay.
It should get hidden if you open up.
I'll just move it out of the way there.
It.
Okay, sorry about that. So I click preview, we're going to see part of this video here, and then we're going to animate a little bit right on top of this video, which is really neat to do, which is a little known thing you can do within Vyond, and really cool for, you know, e-learning kind of things. So if I were to stop the video right here, and again, I'm not full screen, we shot this wide, so I'll just keep it wide right now. So I have this video, okay, it's a live video I've incorporated into Vyond. You can do anything you want over the top of this. You can make your own graphics, your own text. You can do your own lower thirds, if you know what lower thirds are. So I can just go right here and type in lower thirds. It pulls up some pre-made lower thirds that you may or may not like. I can put those right onto the video. I can change their color, put whatever title I want in. This is Callie Reed. Singing a song, singing a song. And then I have a lower third. Obviously, we have one built into the video right here, but you can bring those on and animate them however you want right onto the video themselves. And so we're going to go ahead and play that. See, my little lower third comes out. There's my little lower third that pops out, blah, blah, blah. So it's, in essence, it's what you can do on After Effects, you know, or Adobe Premiere. But now within the last year, they added this ability where you can incorporate real video into Vyond. So for a client that I've worked with in North Carolina, she was making a e-learning course for interior design, and we did this for her. So I incorporated animations into her live video, along with graphics and whiteboard video, all into her custom e-learning videos, which is really cool to do, especially with this live video. You can even have little characters running across or whatever you want. The sky's the limit with that ability to do that with live video. So really fun with the live video. So yeah, I think now I'll just kind of open it up for questions, and I can either showcase some more aspects of Vyond or answer some specific questions about how to incorporate it into whatever platforms that you're looking for. So feel free to ask me anything, and we have a few minutes that we can go through some of these questions.
Yes, there's quite a few questions. I think you may have opened a can by saying you can ask anything. Oh. Here it comes. Get ready.
Okay.
What if I need to input in a different language, or can I change the interface to be in a different language?
That is a great question that I have no clue about, but I can speak on their customer service. They have live 24-hour customer service chat lines, very fantastic to use, but that is a great question. I have no clue about that as far as language goes. So
okay, another question. What are the exporting options? Does it only go to MP4? Can I export a SCORM format? What are my options?
Your options for exporting are as follows. I will show you right here. You don't have a ton of options, so your options are these. So you can download and generate a full HD 1080p, which goes to an MP4 format, or you can do a 720p format, and then from that point you would have to convert. So for a few clients, I have converted to SCORM or whatever format I need to do on my end using Adobe Media Encoder to do that. So short answer, not too many options for downloading. After that, you're on your own to convert as needed.
Okay, another question. I work in retail, in a retail environment, and would like to be able to create templates of the different counters and tellers within the stores. Can I create a background template and upload it into Vyond and have that available for all of my projects? Absolutely.
You can create your custom templates, your custom backgrounds, either in Vyond or outside of Vyond, and then save those as to be reused over and over again for whatever your needs are. So the answer is yes.
Phenomenal. Is there a limit to the length of the videos I can create?
No, I have not found a limit yet. I have created upwards of 30 minutes videos, and I've never had a problem. There may be a limit I don't know about, but I have. If it's longer than 30 minutes, I haven't run into a problem with it yet. So.
Is it useful to have programming knowledge for any of this?
No, I am as dumb as it comes when it comes to programming. I know next to nothing, and so programming is not needed at all. My daughter, who's 6, plays around with Vyond and has animated short little videos. So it tells you how easy the interface is to figure out. But that being said, programming knowledge may help you more than it helped me.
As for a person that doesn't have it, it's hard to know.
That's true. That's true.
Template transitions and animations. Do I have the ability to edit those or create my own and save those as defaults?
You do not have the ability to create your own. I mean, you can be creative and actually, yes, you can create your own animations. I shouldn't say that. Your own transitions. They have quite a few to choose from. There's not a way to save your transition as a template that I know of, but you can definitely create your own transitions using shapes and animating those shapes to come on and move around. So yes, you can create your own transitions. As far as saving those, my answer would be no. Other than copying and pasting what you've done before and pasting it on a new slide, if that makes sense. But as far as it being in the transition library, you cannot. So right here, you can see the transition library. You cannot add your own content to that.
All right. Another question. If I export with closed captions, is there a way for me to make that so I can turn them on or off while in an e-learning platform? Like, let's say I upload the MP4 into my Adobe Captivate project, and I want to make the captions available to be turned on or off inside that platform. Is that possible?
It is possible. It's not possible within Vyond. So Vyond has nothing to do with those things. So you would have to have your closed captions separate and you have your MP4 Vyond video, you have your captions separate, and then whatever player, my brother's sitting here with me, he's a part of the company as well. Anything that they would do to combine those two, it would depend on the player, right?
Yeah, it would depend on the player.
Does GoToAnimate allow you to do closed captions?
In Vyond,
Mm-hmm.
you could type them out manually.
You could do them by hand, but there's no like quick way.
So if you're putting them up, they're going to be burned in.
They'll be burned in.
Okay,
yep.
So if you're going to do closed captions, you create them outside of Vyond, outside of Captivate.
Absolutely.
And then upload them separately. Okay.
Yep. But that's a great feature to, I'll write that in. That's a good thing to move forward with, is to have the ability to do quick captions in Vyond. Good idea.
What about formats for uploading and importing into Vyond? For example, let's say I have my Cutout People library from eLearning Brothers, and I want to be able to put those cutout people into my videos. Can I upload just anything into Vyond?
They do have restrictions, and I would have to pull up those numbers for you, but I've had no problems with any PNGs, any JPEGs. There may be specific formats that do not work. With video, there's a 100 megabit limit. It also has to be H.264, so you will have to compress if you're going to add video directly into your Vyond video, or just add little clips and things of that nature. So the short answer is yes, you can add pretty much whatever you want, but there may or may not be some restrictions. On their site, they have a list of what can be added or what cannot be added.
Now, you showed us some really cool lip sync features.
Yeah.
Is that automatic, or do you need to manually edit the character?
Let me show you how to do it. It is automatic, and it is super fast and super fun to do. So let me pull up something here. Go back
While
in.
you're headed into there, you also mentioned the character creator. Is that part of Vyond, or did you have to do something else?
It's part of Vyond, and I'll showcase that as well. So let's showcase both of those. Great question. Let me pull up a slide here. I'm going to insert a new blank slide. And we're going to throw a character up here, but we'll create a character. So you go to character, you click on create new character, and it takes you out of your little toolbox area, and you go to the character creator. And in this, you have 3 different styles, which is, I'm not able to do that on this account. So we'll just do this guy. You don't have a ton of options with body style, but you have what you have. And we have, you can, alter their face, their shape, their mouth, their ears, everything, eyes, their clothes, the color of their clothes. It's kind of fun. This is what my daughter loves to do, actually, just come in and play paper dolls with these digital characters. Kind of fun. And so you can add accessories and all sorts of different things. Let's get a little mustache on that guy and some, let's do a, what's this thing? Cyclops thing. And you can save that. You can name the character. I'm going to go back to my Vyond Studio and incorporate that into the actual video. And then I'll show you how to add voice sync. But the answer is yes, the voice sync is automatic. It's not perfect. It's not as good as, like a Puppet tool or using Adobe After Effects, but that takes a lot of time to do. But this is very concise and able to do somewhat of a good job with that. So I'm going to go ahead and put my character in. There he is. Let's make him big so you can see him. And I don't believe I have any audio. But if I were to add audio to him, I would upload my audio here, over here, and I would drag my audio down. Let's see if I have some audio put in here. Audio track, boom. I'm going to put that audio track right on into the timeline, which you can make big or make small. And then what you do is you right click, go to settings, click on this little thing, assign audio, and then I will assign the audio to my only character on the screen right here. And whatever audio is down here on this track is assigned to him. Now, if it's multiple people, you'll have to cut up the audio and assign which audio you want to who. And so, as you can see here, if I play this, let's see if he starts talking. Should sync his audio once we start talking here. And again, you're not going to hear the audio. There he goes. Starts talking exactly how the audio is. And the cool thing is you can animate him. I mean, he can be doing things. He can be running. He can be walking. He can be moving around while he's talking. And within 30 seconds, I'm able to animate or lip sync that audio directly to this character. Very cool, very easy. And animation has never been as easy as this. So very fun.
Awesome. Another question. So you showed a video where there were a lot of different graphs on the screen, and you told us that it was a graph image that you uploaded. Can you edit that graph so that it represents accurate numbers, or accurate data? Yeah.
So what you can do with graphs is, and again, you have access to their graphs. They have some graphs that you can kind of choose from, some basic ones. So if I were to click on a pie chart, they can put in this pie chart. I can control the colors. I can control the data right up here. I can control the colors of the graph. I can control what I'm calling it. I can change the colors of things, and let's do a 50% here. So they have their pre-built ones in that you can kind of control and name whatever you want to name, and then you can animate it on however you'd like to animate it. You can even get rid of the values, get rid of the labels, kind of control. I want percentages on there, take the values off, just percentages. So the answer is yes, you have control over their kind of graphics. Now that is based on what they offer you within their graphs. Now they don't have a ton of options. They have this kind of style, this style, this style. I have had to animate. I've had to bring in custom graphs that people want, bring them in as a static image, and then or as layered pieces, and then animate those separately within Vyond. So short answer, yes, you can do whatever you want with their graphs they offer. If it's getting into some of the more custom graph stuff, you will have to bring those in as separate little line items and then animate them accordingly within Vyond.
Coming back to audio, can you record audio directly into Vyond, or do you need to record it as an external file and upload it?
You have a couple audio options. So you can record directly into Vyond. I don't recommend it. You can also type in placeholder audio. So for example, A lot of times with clients, the audio won't be finalized, but we want to get the timing right. So I will just type in the audio and assign it a robotic kind of sound. It's almost like your Kindle reading to you. If you listen to audiobooks on your Kindle and it reads to you, it's kind of like that robotic sound, but you can assign it a male or female voice. I recommend doing the audio outside of Vyond and bringing that in separately. That's what I recommend. But I also edit my audio within Vyond. So it's very easy to edit the audio. So I'll just bring in all my audio and then I'll just cut it up within Vyond and assign it to the right people in there. So very easy to do.
Excellent. Now you had mentioned with the Little Red video that you took Little Red out and made custom adjustments to it. Does this mean that you downloaded that from Vyond, or did you just take a screenshot and then convert that to a vector file and edit it? How did you do that?
We did, yeah, unfortunately there's no way to get the assets outside of Vyond, which would have been a lot easier. So we did do a screenshot and had that up on the screen, and then we matched that. We just created our own graphic from that screenshot and matched it as best we could and then altered it as needed. So it would be nice if we could duplicate, pull their graphics off, but it's probably they're probably keeping those safe, and those are their graphics. They're not wanting us to take those out. But so hopefully that answers your question. So.
Could you demonstrate the zooming in and out camera effect?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about Vyond. So let's pull up another video here with some characters in it. How are we on time?
10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay. So let's pull up, let's see. I'll just pull up that video that we did. Oh, it's not in there. Where's that at? Zoom. I'll just pull up that whiteboard video that I showcased to you that we did for Zoom or for Lola. The camera movement, so I call the camera movements the secret sauce. You can really tell when someone knows what they're doing in Vyond, when they can really nail the camera movements on scenes. And so, because it really makes things stand out. So here's a scene right here, okay? There's no camera movements on it right now, it's just two people talking, okay? I'm going to change things up and click on this little camera right up here, and I'm going to add a camera, which adds a camera on this. So this is what the camera will see. I can do close-ups. So for example, if I drag this on him and put it right over his head, that becomes a close-up. So let's go ahead and transition to that scene so you can kind of see that. So right now we're wide, showcasing both characters conversing. Any day here. Loading. So again, we're going to go from wide to a medium shot or close-up shot, probably a medium shot there. So we go from two characters conversing and watch for my new scene to show up. Boom, we go from a medium shot. I can then transition to a wide shot or whatever type of shot, but let's add a little movement to that shot. So we have our little medium shot here. I'm going to add a second camera. I can control that camera, and let's do a little pan over to her. This would be kind of odd shot, but we'll go ahead and do it. I can control the speed of that camera. Let's make it go quick little movement, 2 seconds. So we're going to go from this camera to this camera within the same scene. Click preview. And this will add that kind of secret sauce to these videos. That's what makes these videos stand out rather than just those static kind of puppets talking to each other. Put a little movement on there, put a little action, change up your shots, watch movies, see what shots they use in movies. Sometimes we'll show close-ups of feet, close-ups of hands, close-ups of typing, stuff like that. That little stuff that you can add into these videos, it's rendering. So what happens here is we added some new animations, so it's got to go through the whole process, and sometimes you're up against these kind of loading times, which generally does not take this long.
While that's exporting, maybe
yeah,
you can answer one other question here. If you create a video in Vyond for a client, do you need to sell them the rights to the video? How does that handoff go? And is Vyond involved in that handoff?
There is a small fee that Vyond asks for to transfer those rights to a client. I believe it's like $50 or $75 for that, to give all rights to that client from your Vyond video that you made. But I don't have those numbers right in front of me, but there are, the answer is yes. Oh, here's our movement here. So you can kind of see this movement from one character to the next. So yes, there is a small fee that they ask for to be paid to them when you transfer the rights for that video.
All right, excellent. Unfortunately, we are running up on the end of our webinar time, and I did want to spend some time talking about why we have Brigham here with us today. So Brigham has worked with our custom team several times to create some of our instructional videos that we fit inside of our custom courses. And so I want to put this up on the screen if Vyond can catch up with us here.
Do you want me to put it up, or you have it?
If you can put it up, that'd be
great.
good. I think we've got it up for you. So our custom team will work on projects big and small. If you are already working on a project and you just need some help with it, we're happy to jump on and give you some extra hands. If you need an entire project taken over, we are happy to jump on that as well with our custom team. And there it is. There on the left side of the screen, there's a phone number and an email address and an email, and a website you can go to. If you go to eLearningBrothers.com, we have a custom solutions section in our top navigation bar, and it lists tons of different things that we, as our custom team, can do to help you out. And one of those things is to get awesome instructional video fit inside of your courses. So if you have questions, if you want to see what that's like, you know what? I will paste a link here in the chat that you can go to learn more information. It is now posted. So if you just go into the chat section, there's a chat all with a short link that'll take you to custom and see how we can help you. If you want to see some of what we're demoing, we have a custom showcase that's coming up at ELBX Live. That's June 10th, and that's right around the corner. So if you want to register for that, you can also do that at eLearningBrothers.com. Are you guys going to come to ELBX Live?
I'd like to, yes.
That'd be great if you guys came, and you guys can come and ask your questions to the developers. You guys can come and ask your questions to Brigham and learn everything you can there at ELBX Live. So if you haven't registered, now's the time. Jump on that. Thank you so much, Brigham, for giving us this information on Vyond. I apologize to everybody whose questions we weren't able to get. Please send us an email at info@elearningbrothers.com. We'll be happy to continue the conversation with you, and we hope everybody has a great day.
Thanks, guys.